Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in today's session we'll be discussing all possible reason questions of haloalkane and haloarene. So please watch till the end. First question, dipole moment of CX bond increases in this order. Normally what we think is halogens are placed in the order fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So we should be like down the group, the polarity is decreasing. So we expect this to be decreasing down the group, but it follows this trend. So to answer this question, what you will do is, you will first write down what is dipole moment. Mu is the product of delta into D. That means it is the product of charge into distance. No doubt, charge is greater for CF bond. It is maximum for this bond and it is least for Ci bond. That is minimum for it. But that is not the only deciding factor. D is also the deciding factor. So this is maximum for I. But overall product we have to see. Right? So you will write answer as dipole moment is a product of delta into D. Though on the basis of delta, the CF should be having maximum. We expect this should be maximum, but CCl bond becomes more. We expect it to be decreasing down the group, but only the difference is this becomes maximum. Reason, CCl bond length is greater than CF bond. Right? Though CF the polarity is maximum, it is more than CCl, but CCl bond length is greater. That overcomes everything. See, overall product of delta into D for CCl bond becomes greater. So that is the order. Sometimes you can be also asked, place the CF, CCl, CBr and all these in the increasing order of the dipole moment. So how you'll remember? Down the group it decreases, but only thing is chlorine becomes maximum. It becomes more than fluorine. Right? Next question, thionyl chloride. What is thionyl chloride? SOCl2. This is preferred while preparing RX, that is alkyl halide, from ROH. So what you will write is, you will write down the equation, that is alcohol plus, if you are carrying out the reaction in the presence of thionyl chloride, how I told you to remember is 1 R with 1 Cl forms RCl. Though I have taught you mechanism separately, but just before the exam when you are learning, you will be learning in a shortcut. H and Cl, so HCl. What is left over? SO2. So you will write down the answer as, this is gas, this is also gas. You are having the products as gases. Apart from alkyl halide, the remaining products are gases. Because they are in the gaseous state, they will escape out. So when they escape out, the product which is left over, that is alkyl halide, will be pure. You will get pure alkyl halide if you are using thionyl chloride. Fine. The next question says, aryl halides cannot be prepared by halogenation of phenol. Aryl halide means a ring. You are having a ring. On the ring you are having X. This cannot be prepared. Why it cannot be prepared? You have to take phenol and you will be drawing its resonating structures. There are two lone pairs. This will go here, this will go here. I am just drawing one resonating structure. The remaining you can complete. Right? So this will be negative, this will be there, this will be here, double bond, O, you will have H, only one lone pair left over, positive charge. So you will complete, this is negative. Okay, you will complete the resonating structure. This will go further and this will go here. So you will draw all 5 resonating structures, and then you will write in the preparation of aryl halide. Suppose we are trying to prepare from phenol by halogenation, we will have to break this bond. You cannot break this bond because of the partial double bond character. Partial double bond character between carbon and oxygen. That means the ring and this there is a double bond character which has developed here. So you will draw all the resonating structures and then you will write, due to the partial double bond character, this bond will not break up easily. So when this cannot break means this OH cannot be substituted by any halogen, right? Next question says the reactivity of alcohols with the given halo acid follows this order. That means the tertiary is maximum. So what you will write here is that when you are trying to prepare from alcohol by reacting with some HX, that is halo acid, what are you preparing? You are preparing this plus water. You will see that in the mechanism, what is happening? Carbocation is formed. This R plus carbocation is formed because this will come out as water, right? So this will be a carbocation form. Right, so carbocation form, and you know that the tertiary carbocation is most stable. Tertiary carbocation is most stable. When you see the mechanism, you find that in this tertiary is more stable, then secondary, and then 1 degree. So tertiary carbocation, since being more stable, the reactivity will be maximum for this. The order will be like this. Okay. Next, in the same question, you can be also asked as CF, HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. This is the order for the halo acid. Suppose I want to react this with any halo acid, the order of reactivity is this. Why it is like that? Because HI bond length is maximum. This bond can break faster, whereas HF, fluorine is smaller in size, HF bond length will be less, the bond will be strong. This will not break easily. Got it? The next question says the preparation of haloalkanes by halogenation of hydrocarbon is not preferred. Now suppose I take some hydrocarbon, suppose I have taken propane and I want to carry out its halogenation, means I'll have to carry out in the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight, it is following free radical substitution mechanism. So there are so many different types of carbon atom. There is a primary and there is secondary, and moreover more number of hydrogen atoms. So all can be replaced. One by one, all hydrogen atoms can be replaced by chlorine, by halogen. So it will form mixture of the products. You will get mixture of the products. When you get the mixture, and all of them are, almost similar, maybe 1 chloro or 2 chloro or 1 dichloro or whatever. So you will get mixture of the products. This mixture cannot be separated. The mixture which is obtained, it cannot be separated. Why it cannot be separated? Because of less difference in the boiling point. Due to the less difference in the boiling point, they cannot be separated. So when you cannot separate, no point in getting the product, because you will be focusing on one particular product. You will get in fact a mixture of the products. So because you get a mixture, you cannot opt for this type of reaction. Next question says iodination of arenes is carried out in the presence of oxidizing agent. This is the second type of question which I'll be taking separately. First I'm talking about this. So why iodination is always carried out in the presence of oxidizing agent? So what you'll write is, you will write like this, that iodination is reversible process. It is a reversible process. So because it is reversible process, oxidizing agent will be required, right? So because one of the product which is formed here is HI. Right? Yes. So what will this oxidizing agent do? Actually, it happens like this. When you are carrying out the reaction arene, you will react with iodine, and what we are saying is we are carrying out the reaction in the presence of oxidizing agent. So the product will be, one will be HI plus what you will get is, you will get aryl and then you will get iodide, right? So one I with H will form HI, another I will get attached to it. So aryl iodide you will get. So if you are using this oxidizing agent, this oxidizing agent will react with this HI. Oxidizing agent will react with this HI, convert this HI into I2. In a way, it is removing the product and increasing the reactant. So the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. I will repeat, you will write like this: iodination is a reversible process. It's a reversible process. You will write like this. Yes, Irene plus I2 in the presence of oxidizing agent will form this plus HI. So because it's a reversible process, we use oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent like HNO3, or you can also use HiO4. So this oxidizing agent will remove this I2, HI. It will oxidize this HI to form I2. In a way, it is removing the product and increasing the reactant. When you remove the product, increase the reactant, as per Le Chatelier's principle, the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. So you will get more products. That is the reason why you carry out iodination in the presence of oxidizing agent. Next thing, there can be also a question: fluoro compounds cannot be prepared by this method. Why fluoro compounds cannot be prepared? Because fluorination is highly explosive reaction. Because of their, if it is to be prepared by this particular method, fluorine, it's highly reactive. It is highly reactive. It is an explosive reaction, uncontrollable. So that is why you do not prefer preparing fluorocompounds by using this particular method. So we prepare indirectly, that we have already studied. Next question. Finkelstein's reaction is always carried out in the presence of dry acetone. For this, we should be writing what is Finkelstein's reaction. It is chloride bromide. They are treated with sodium iodide, and you carry out the reaction in the presence of dry acetone. You get Ri plus NaX. Now, why we use this dry acetone? Because in this particular reaction, you are converting chlorides and bromides into iodide. That means what product you are getting? Here is either chloride NaCl or NaBr. So what will this acetone do? It will help in precipitating this. NaCl and NaBr, which is thus formed, is precipitated in the presence of dry acetone. This gets precipitated means you will remove it. You will remove it means you will get pure alkyl iodide. Got it? So why we carry out the reaction? It will remove the product NaCl and NaBr which is formed. It will precipitate it out and you will get pure alkyl iodide. In a way, you can say it will facilitate the reaction to move in the forward direction as per Le Chatelier's principle. The next question says H2SO4 cannot be used during the reaction of alcohol with Ki. That means in case you want to prepare alkyl iodide from alcohol, you cannot use sulfuric acid. Why? That is what they are asking. Because if you are using sulfuric acid, it will oxidize Ki to the corresponding Hi, which will further be oxidized to I2. Okay, so you will write potassium iodide because it's a very good oxidizing agent. It will oxidize Ki. First, it will not oxidize, it will convert that Ki to form Hi, and Hi will be oxidized. Here it is oxidized. This Hi will be oxidized to form I2. So instead of getting alkyl iodide, you will get iodine. You will not get iodide in this reaction. That is why we do not prefer the reaction. Got it? Now moving on to the next type of questions. Say you are asked, boiling point follows this order. Means if you are keeping halogen fixed, boiling point always increases with the increase in the number of the carbon atoms. So as the length of the carbon chain is increasing, keeping halogen fixed, boiling point will increase. Reason, surface area increases. When the surface area increases, van der Waals forces of attraction also will increase. So surface area increases, van der Waals forces of attraction increases, therefore the boiling point will increase. Clear? You may have like this, keeping number of carbon atoms same, increasing the size of the halogen. Increase the size of the halogen, then also surface area increases, van der Waals forces increases, boiling point will increase. Or in a way you can be also asked like that. Suppose I take this one, say CH3Cl, then you have CH2Cl2, then you have CHCl3 or CCl4. If you are comparing the boiling point, this will be the order. Carbon atom number remains the same, but if you are increasing the number of the halogens, then too the surface area increases, size increases, surface area increases, van der Waals forces are increasing, boiling point has to increase. The next one here, example which I wrote is, with the branching, boiling point decreases. With the branching, this is straight chain, normal butyl halide. This is secondary, this is tertiary. So what is happening? All are having same molecular formula. This is for isomers. For the isomers, boiling point always decreases with the branching, because with the branching, surface area decreases, van der Waals forces of attraction also decreases. That is why with the branching, boiling point will decrease. Fine. Next, para isomer has higher melting point as compared to ortho or meta. Means they are mainly focusing on this. In case it is aromatic compound like this, on the para position if it is present, or if it is present at ortho position, or they are present at meta position. What you find is this has the maximum melting point. We're not talking about boiling point. Boiling point almost is the same for all. Why is this maximum for para? You will write the answer as due to symmetry. In para they are opposite to each other. So you will write due to symmetry in the para isomer, it fits into crystal lattice. It fits into the crystal lattice better as compared to ortho or meta. Got it? In para, due to symmetry, they fit into the crystal lattice more effectively. So this term should be there. Symmetry, fitting into the crystal lattice more effectively. Now moving on to the next question, density order. If you keep carbon atom same, increase in the size of the halogen, density increases. Or number of carbon atoms same, increase in the number of the halogens, then too the density will increase. Why? You will write density is mass by volume. Though by increasing the size of the halogen or increasing in the number of the halogen, this is increasing as well as this. But increase in mass is much more than the increase in volume. That is why density down the group will increase. Down the group means what I have written here. Right? Okay. Next, very very important question. Though polar, haloalkanes are slightly soluble in water. So what you will write is, water itself has H bond. We know it is having hydrogen bond. When this Rx is to get dissolved in water, there has to be some sort of attraction between water and alkyl halide. Yes, there has to be some attraction. By attraction, energy should be liberated. Energy should be liberated in this case when there is attraction set up between alkyl halide and water. The energy liberated is not sufficient. The energy liberated, which energy liberated are we talking about? Energy liberated by setting up attractions between alkyl halide and water. This energy liberated is not sufficient to break existing H bonds in water. There are already hydrogen bonds, present in water molecule. And when you try to dissolve haloalkane in water, the bonds are being formed between them. Energy liberated in this kind of attraction is not sufficient to break the existing hydrogen bonds in water. That is why alkyl halides or haloalkanes are not that much soluble in water. Yeah, moving on to the next one now. Haloalkanes react with potassium cyanide to form alkyl cyanide with AgC and it forms isocyanide. So what you will write? KCN is ionic. It will form K plus and Cn minus. So when it has generated that Cn minus nucleophile, now this Cn minus nucleophile, when it is to get attached to R, or you can say one particular example I can take, say this alkyl radical, then this Cn minus which is generated is ambident nucleophile. It is ambident nucleophile. Since it is ambident nucleophile means it has 2 points of attachment. Either it can link through carbon or through N. So it is an ambident nucleophile which can either get attached through carbon or through N, but it prefers getting attached through carbon because CC bond is stronger than CN bond. It doesn't get flipped, that through N it doesn't get attached. Because this is ionic compound, it is generating Cn minus nucleophile which is ambident nucleophile. So which when attaches itself to carbon, it prefers getting attached through C, not through N, because CC bond is stronger than CN bond. Whereas AgCN is a covalent compound. It is a covalent compound, whereas this one was ionic. It's a covalent compound. Covalent compound means it will not break up. It will have only one point of attachment through N. That is why the carbon, here will get attached only through this nitrogen, not through this. This carbon of the alkyl will only get attached through nitrogen because the other one is not available. That is why it prefers forming isocyanide. Clear? It's a very, very important reason question. Next question. 1 degree alkyl halides undergo SN2 mechanism. Or you can be asked like that. SN2 mechanism follows this order. 1 degree is maximum, then 2 degree, then 3 degree. So what you will write? What is the mechanism? You know that already. A nucleophile, it attacks the alkyl halide. I am writing example of primary. And it forms a, one intermediate. It is one step mechanism. It is one step mechanism where this bond starts breaking and this bond start forming, and because it is one step where you are having 5 bonds with the carbon atom which is not stable. So if this is bulky, say tertiary or secondary, it is not possible because there will be more hindrance. So here there is maximum hindrance. In 1 degree it is least, and in the final step what happens? This Cl minus will break and you are having this H, and this OH gets attached here and that Cl minus comes out. Because it is one step mechanism. It is one step mechanism wherein there is a transition state obtained. So it prefers, the alkyl halide should be less bulky so that there is less steric hindrance in it. That is why we say 1 degree has the maximum and then 3 degree will be the least. The next question says that 3 degree alkyl halides prefer SN1 mechanism. So what you will write? SN1 mechanism. You can explain slightly SN1 mechanism, and you can write it is 2 step. This is 1 step, and the second step also you can write. In 1 step, if I take a tertiary alkyl halide, there is a tertiary carbocation form. And tertiary carbocation is very stable. Due to the extra stability of the tertiary carbocation, this tertiary alkyl halides, prefer undergoing SN1. It is a 2-step mechanism. And in this second step, this carbocation will be attacked by a nucleophile and it will form the product. Right? Because of the extra stability of the carbocation, this 3 degree alkyl halides prefer undergoing SN1. That is to be written. Next question. SN1 reactions are always carried out in the presence of the protic solvent. Why? So you will write that SN1 reactions involve the CBr bond breaking. There was one C also here, which I missed out. Right? So in SN1 reaction, there is CBr bond breaking. So because this CBr bond has to break, so energy is required. Energy is obtained. The energy is obtained through solvation of halide ion with proton of the protic solvent. You will write like this. Why these are always to be carried out in the presence of the protic solvent? Because SN1 reactions involve CBr, or it can be CX bond also you can write. So energy is obtained through the solvation, because this bond should break, means energy is required. From where do they get the energy? Energy is obtained through solvation of this halide ion by proton of the protic solvent. Protic solvent means proton giving solvent. So through the proton of the protic solvent, the solvation occurs of it. So energy will be liberated. That liberated energy will help in breaking the CBr bond. Clear? Next question. Allylic or benzylic halides show high reactivities toward SN1 reaction. For this, you will take example of allyl. You will write down the example of allyl ion. You will write the structure of benzyl C6H5CH2. You will draw the resonating structure. This will come here. You will write due to resonance in both the cases. Due to resonance, it is more stable. So in this, what will be the structure? This will shift here. So when this goes here, you will have the next structure as this will be there, this will be as such, this will be double bond CH2 and the positive charge here, and this will further shift. You can go on drawing the resonating structures. Okay, so this will go here, means positive charge, again it will come and complete the resonating structures. You will write allylic and benzylic halides, though they appear to be 1 degree. Why do they undergo SN1 mechanism? Because both are resonance stabilized. Due to resonance stabilized, they prefer undergoing SN1. Fine. Racemic mixture is optically inactive. Racemic mixture is nothing but DL mixture, or it is dextro-levo mixture. Dextro-levo mixture means it will rotate towards right hand side as well as towards the left hand side to the equal extent. It is having 50% dextro and 50% levo. The overall rotation will be not there in it, so it becomes optically inactive. Grignard reagent should always be prepared in anhydrous condition. Now, why the Grignard reagent is always to be prepared in anhydrous condition? Because if you use Grignard reagent, and if you are taking, say, water in it, so water will be there. So this water will react with it, and this bond will break from here. You will get H and OH. That means you will get RH plus Mg OH X, means you will get alkane. You will get alkane. Grignard reagent is always prepared in the anhydrous conditions, because if you use water, the Grignard reagent so formed will undergo hydrolysis and will result in the formation of alkane. Clear? Next question. Aryl halides are less reactive towards nucleophilic substitution reaction. So in this, you will write main 3 reasons. 1. You will take aryl halide. You will draw the resonating structures of aryl halide. Yes. You will draw the resonating structures of aryl halide, and when you are drawing the resonating structures, say one structure I am drawing and showing it to you, this is negative, this will be a double bond halogen, and a positive charge appears here. So what happens here is you are having a carbon halogen double bond. When it is a double bond, this bond will not break. So one is this. Draw all resonating structures and write down, due to resonance there is a partial double bond character which appears between carbon and halogen. The bond does not break. Second, in this, the carbon which is bearing halogen is sp2 hybridized. Because it is sp2 hybridized, the length will be less. We know sp3 hybrid orbital is longer than sp2. So because this is smaller, the bond will not break. Or in case it is breaking also, it will generate a phenyl cation which is not stable. So due to instability of phenyl cation, it does not prefer undergoing reaction, nucleophilic substitution reaction. Clear? Yeah, moving on to the next question. Presence of electron withdrawing group at ortho and para position increases the reactivity of haloarenes. There is a reaction you study that if you try to carry out the reaction of haloarine, only haloarine, the reaction will be slow. If ortho and para positions you have nitro group, then the reactivity will be more. Or in the other way round also the question can be asked, in nitro group shows its maximum effect at ortho and para, not at meta. The reason for that is you will draw again all the resonating structures of haloarine, only haloarine, and you will show, like previously also we have drawn, just now we have drawn it, right? This one I am saying, when you draw the resonating structures, you will get a negative charge here at ortho, complete it and see, or at para position. So because you are getting a negative charge at ortho and para position, on that ortho and para, if some electron withdrawing group comes, then it will, assist in breaking this bond faster. So the presence of electron withdrawing group will always be helpful if it is present at ortho and para position. Fine. You can draw the resonating structures and explain this answer. This is also somewhat similar. Haloarines undergo electrophilic substitution reaction at ortho and para. Even in this one, you will take haloarine, you will draw the resonating structures, and you will explain that in the resonating structures you are getting a negative charge at ortho and para position. So because the negative charge appears at ortho and para position, so you will have a more electron density at such positions. You can show it like this. You can draw the resonating structures and you are seeing that at ortho with respect to this or para, you are getting negative charge. So because the negative charge appears at these two positions, the electrophile can attack these positions more effectively. Fine. And the last most important question is this one. Although chlorine is electron withdrawing group, yet it is ortho-para directing. Why? In this also, first you draw the resonating structures, right? Because it is showing the inductive effect as well as resonance. So which one will be the deciding factor? Resonance. So to explain that, you can just see the lower part. So the most important part is this one. Reactivity is controlled by the inductive effect, whereas the orientation is controlled by resonance effect. It is having both resonance as well as inductive effect. So you will explain on the basis of both, but you will write that reactivity is controlled by inductive effect and orientation is controlled by resonance. So this last question which I have discussed, it is also your in-text question. This is the question. Please go through even this question very nicely. It is very, very important. Okay, now please revise all the reason questions, and in the previous videos I have discussed distinguish between also. Please practice them well, and in the upcoming videos I will share reason question chapter wise. That is alcohol, phenol, ether, then aldehyde, ketone acids, and then amine. So in 3 more videos, I will complete the reason questions of each chapter. Okay, please share the videos and revise. That's very important for success, for better learning of organic chemistry. Thank you for watching.